Hey, howdy, hi.
I'm Danielle.
And I'm Nye.
And this is
My Point Is.
And we made it freaking finally. Cheers.
Finally, it's 10:30 at night.
10:30 at night. We deserve this glass of wine. And we've been dealing with tech issues galore.
Yes, because we are not tech wizards. That was never my calling.
Well, I'm not. You and Jamelia, actually, you're really doing great things.
I did my best, but imposter syndrome all the way. Or just imposter behavior all the way.
I don't think so. I think because you two actually figured it all out, and then the issues weren't even issues that it wasn't your fault. But we did figure it out in the end. We did find a method that will work for us for now. But yeah, okay. So here we are.
Here we are.
We finally made it. And we get. Oh my God, where's my notebook? There it is. Okay. And we have it's okay. I'm good. Don't worry. I'm for anyone who's watching on YouTube, I am double fisting today. I have my glass of wine and then I have a handheld mic. Mostly because I'm a star, but also partially because the other mic was part of the tech issue and there was a lot else going on, and so handheld mic it is for me.
Gotta do what we gotta do.
Gotta do what we gotta do. So, here we go. We're gonna jump right in. And we're going to be talking about game. I'm so stoked.
I know you are.
This is a really fun topic, and I don't know why you don't enjoy it in the same way that I do.
Because I don't possess that particular quality. That is not my expertise.
I don't know if you don't possess it, or if you or if you're imposter syndroming your way through. And you're really like just truly psyching yourself out enough to the point where you're like, oh yeah, I really don't. I don't have it. So you're not even giving yourself a chance. That's what I've seen.
I feel as though game was never modeled for me. I wasn't okay, maybe I've seen a TV show where they were like giving eyes and that's all I do. You know what I'm saying?
You do. You do give eyes.
That's all I do. I just give a little, ooh, my eye twitched. But you get the point.
Okay. So you're claiming that because you never had it modeled, that you can't do it.
I just feel like also there's like a lack of like affection. Like we were just talking about it, actually.
Yeah, we were. Wait, yes, we were actually.
Yeah. A lack of affection that I show because I didn't have like an affectionate upbringing.
It's true.
So like when it comes to like flirting or like it doesn't come naturally. I'm just like more practical. Like
yeah, even like platonic affection. You don't show platonic affection. You get so uncomfortable when I like hug you or put my hand on your shoulder or.
It's not what I'm accustomed to. Yeah.
Yeah. Or even like just ask to like poke your ear.
No. She asked to caress my ear.
Caress is wild.
Caress is wild. The motion you were doing with your fingers.
I wanted to squish your earlobe.
Right.
Because it's so cute and little. And I was like, oh my God, let me squish your earlobe. And you said, that's so weird. No. And I was like, what? Have you never had just someone close to you that is just like, oh my God, you're so precious. Let me just give you a hug or squish your earlobe.
Okay. Those are not synonymous activities.
They sure are. No. And if you can't see that, then I can't teach you anything.
Well, let me just leave it.
What I can do is ask you this question. Here, hold on.
Yeah.
Okay, ready? All right. We have our tiny book with our questions. Okay, here we go. You don't drink out of my glass. That's my glass. You don't want to let me touch your earlobe? You don't get to drink out of my glass. How about that? All right, ready? So first question is, what do you notice is the biggest difference in game in queer versus straight spaces? Okay, and the reason we brought this up is because you and I recently just went to a queer, it's so fitting. Wow, we didn't even do this on purpose.
Ooh.
Fate. We just went to a queer, primarily BIPOC and BIPOC run wine bar event, pop-up wine bar that is incredible. It's called Babe. If you know about it, then you know about it. If you don't, now you do, and you should. It's run in Brooklyn, and they're pop-ups. You got to really run to get those RSVPs. The RSVPs are free, which I think is incredible. But you do then, of course, buy your wine and things like that there. But we should tag the Instagram page and everything like that in the show notes because it was really incredible. We had a great time. But it was Nye's first time going to any kind of like 30 plus event for queer people.
Let's just call it what it is. My first time going to like an event that was surrounding wine to even begin with, which also speaks to like age group of who you're attracting.
And sapphic too. I forgot to say that. It was queer, but it was specifically sapphic.
But also, it was one of the first spaces where I saw like predominantly BIPOC people who were queer also in the same space.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or like in a space where we were meant to talk and like
mingle. It was a mingle event.
It was.
It was a get your flirt on. It was a mingle.
Which was not my strong suit, but here we are.
You did a great job, actually.
I wasn't flirting. I was trying to make friends.
Yeah, I mean, I could tell. But you did a great job at that. That's my point, is that, like, what you were there to do, you accomplished.
Yeah, no, I got some follows. I followed some people. There was some movement, just not in the direction we were hoping. There was no dating. Remember that.
I think that you talked a bigger game about wanting that, but then you did the flip-flopping back and forth on the train where you're like, no, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to be, no, I'm not looking for anything. No, maybe I am. No, I'm not. Just kidding. I'm not looking for anything. You know? So then you got there and you decided, friends it is.
Yeah.
And you accomplished your goal.
But it was also, I did say that I didn't like, remember last time we were exploring the whole demi thing?
Mm-hmm.
I think I wasn't, like, feeling the attraction necessarily from anyone right away.
But maybe you actually did what comes natural to you, which is to see if you have any friendship connections with people first.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're talking demi.
Mm-hmm.
Like seeing what kind of connections are out there in just a human to human connection, not in a romantic one necessarily, but in one where you see if you feel a little bit lit up in your soul by someone else's presence, just in excitement, in friendship, in allure. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. And so if that's the case, if that's what you're exploring anyway, then that seems like, now mind you, I'm not demi, but that seems like the right way to go about it to me. You know, not that there's a right and a wrong.
I was about to say, is that the playbook?
No, not that there's a right and a wrong, but you know what I mean? Like that seems like it makes sense. It seems like it makes sense. So, okay, so then, because I know that for me, since I've primarily just go to queer events and sapphic events, I have more of an understanding of what that kind of game looks like, and I could spot it a mile away. But then, and I, of course, know what I've seen as, I guess, what happens and is considered game in straight spaces, but I don't know if I agree that it's gay. So
it's like, basically, I feel as though in straight spaces, I don't need game because we got a pretty face and a fat ass.
That's true.
I'll be honest.
But okay, so you feel like you don't need game. So what is game? So then it's up to who to have game.
I mean, that kind of leads into my question for you, kind of.
We haven't even answered this one.
Okay, fair. Okay, but the idea of like chasing versus attracting. I feel like I'm more of an attractor, and I feel like attractor.
I'm an attractor.
I'm more of an attractor. I work by attracting, and then in queer spaces, it feels like you have to do more chasing.
Interesting. I don't think that at all.
Really?
I think that the way you attract is very different.
Okay.
I have theories, but
it.
I'm trying to wait because I want to hear your theories. I want to hear your observations. Sorry, let me rephrase. I want to hear your observations. So for you, what's the difference in game in queer space, in the queer space that you saw, and the couple, like you've been to a couple now, but like that one in particular, we'll use that as the example, versus in the straight spaces that you've gone to?
Yeah, it was a little bit more like small thing. Like I feel like in straight spaces you can tell when two people are like flirting because it felt like there was more touching when there's like in straight spaces.
Definitely.
Like when you're like approaching someone versus like in the queer space it felt like more like people's bodies were facing each other, so maybe it was just like body language versus like actual like interaction.
No, I would so agree. I think that there's not as much like overt sexualized touching sapphic spaces. Yeah, I've never seen lesbians look at each other and be like, oh, let me just grab up on that ass. Like, I just haven't. That's not, I mean, well, okay.
That's not the only way it happens.
I have seen that happen, but it was at like, we were at like a club and it was Pride and everyone was real drunk. We were just getting wild. Like, it was like it was like a good Caribbean party. So everyone was like dancing.
Shaking
wild. Yeah, that's what I mean. It was different. But I'm saying in an event like this where you're mingling.
Well, I did eventually twerk at some point, but.
Yeah, we both wiggled a little.
A little bit.
We wiggled a little. Yeah. There was good music.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, not the point. So, okay, so I would agree. I think that in a lot of the queer spaces, and especially sapphic spaces, I think there's not as much overt sexualized touching. Nobody's grabbing up on anybody. But I think there's a lot more like, okay, and then this leads into your question of chasing and attracting, right? So I think that there's a lot more intellectual banter, a lot more body language that's used as communication, right? And I think that when you're using those as your primary modes of transportation towards a goal of connection, that's how you're attracting people. That's how you're not like chasing looks very different. Chasing is like when you can see someone starting to look a little bit desperate, like they're following someone a lot or they're
I don't
like
think that's
really
chasing.
trying to laugh super hard at something. It's like it's like in the movies when you see the high school movies where you see the nerdy kid that the one cool girl at school says 2 words to one time and she's like, oh my god, that's so right. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. No, anytime if you want, I'm free. You let me know. Like that is when you're chasing something, right? But when you're attracting something, you're attracting this energy, you're attracting this connection. I think especially in like sapphic and queer spaces, what I've always noticed and what I've always experienced has been you are friendly, you're open to conversation, you're open to whoever comes across your path. You show genuine interest in what they're saying. And as long as you're not bored, if you're bored, acknowledge it and leave. And if you're not, acknowledge it and show curiosity. And then have a back and forth. Like, really get invested in the eye contact, really get invested in like being interested. I know that sounds so simple, but it's really wildly overlooked in every single. I've never seen a man do it. In every straight space I've ever seen, I've never seen a man do it unless
Wait,
he
I've never seen a man do what?
show genuine interest in anything that a woman is saying. He's shown direct because there's a difference between you're listening to respond versus you're listening to actually hear and have interest in the conversation, not interest in an outcome.
Well, I mean, okay.
I've seen men that are goal directed in their conversation and they know how to steer it. Mind you, it's not all men, not every time. I don't feel like we have to say that, but I'm just gonna. But generally speaking, I feel like in a lot of sapphic spaces that I go to, when we talk about game, we talk about chasing versus attracting. I feel like attracting is really just being your authentic self and like showing up and talking about what you're actually interested in and being excited and open to learn new things about other people. That's at least that's what you saw me there. Like that's and I'm not even there to like flirt and everything because obviously but pretty quickly like we were talking to people, I made several friends, like I got into several conversations that were really thrilling. Like even when I went up to go refill our drinks at the bar and stuff, I met a person that she was so amazingly dressed, like she was fashion. And so we just started talking because I love fashion, you know this. And I was like, please tell me where you got this. Tell me, what do you do? Like, do you work in fashion? You look like you work in fashion. Tell me about you. And she was like, ended up being this amazing activist for body positivity and accepting all these different kinds of body types and how fashion can be just as sexy and brilliant and amazing on everyone. And I was like, this is like, I would never have known that had I not just talked to her and seen like what she was interested in. You know what I mean? And just talk to her about like what she liked and let it align with the parts of me that I really like talking about with that within fashion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't know. I feel like I had a different experience with
Tell
this
me.
event. I don't know. It felt more like a networking event than it did like a flirtatious, like meeting people socially event for me. Like I felt like I was trying to like impress people versus just trying to like enjoy them socially.
Well, why were you doing that?
Because it felt like that kind of environment. Like I will say oftentimes what's like, I'll be honest. Okay, I'd be scared. I'd be scared of queer spaces because
Really?
I
I had
do.
no idea. This is
Because
shocking.
there's this like I feel like with straight spaces there's like this expectation or lack of expectation to like it's not like a different kind of performance. It's just like something I've been taught to do. Like just look pretty, laugh with your friends, and then someone will come to you.
But you don't actually have to give anything of yourself.
I mean, no, not in like a club or like a social setting like that.
Well, let's not say a club because I think a club you've even seen like a club is a little different
It's
than
different than a
yeah,
club, than a like
a soiree.
A soiree
a kickback, a
is not a
hangout.
kickback.
Okay, fine. But I'm saying like any other event where you're doing more talking rather than like gyrating. You know what I mean? Like we're not throwing it back. So any event that's like that.
Yeah.
You haven't had to really like, it seems like you haven't, and I mean, even my experience too in straight spaces is like someone approaches you and it's usually a man, right? There's like gender expectations also. There's like gender binary expectations of a man is supposed to approach a woman or someone they assume is a woman, and they're supposed to either buy them a drink or start the conversation or show forwardness.
Yeah.
And then it's up to the woman or the receiving party to either flirt back, play a little hard to get, or to accept it or reject it. But like it's up to them to be coy a little bit, right? There's that call and response. And I'm not saying there's no call and response or no cat and mouse in sapphic spaces, but there's not this strict adherence to a script, to a social script.
Which is really disorienting.
Fair. If you're new to it, fair. But I think the biggest part of it that makes it, in my opinion, the much easier space to exist in is that because there's no real social script, you can just go be your weird self, like throw your weird net out into the pond, pull it back in, and see what you catch. Like see who really likes the weird. See who really likes just what you got going on. You know what I mean? Like when I go into a space, I consider myself someone that like, okay, I've never had a problem pulling, is what I'm saying. If I want to get a date and I go out somewhere, I would get a date.
Speak on it.
That's it, right? And I don't say that to be like braggy about it. But I mean, like for me, that was just, I always would talk to my friends and like whether I was dating online, it doesn't matter. I was always like, I really like dating. I think it's fun. I have a great time doing it. And I always found it to be like a really interesting time. It was like a social experiment where I got to go and meet up with this person that I hardly knew, and I got to go and essentially people of New York it, where I got to like sit and ask them questions and learn about their life. You know what I mean?
Like it's almost like it's not, or it felt not introvert friendly. And I felt like I had to perform a bit.
Dating isn't introvert friendly.
I disagree with that.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me more.
I feel like it depends on the space you're in. Like, I felt like maybe it's because of the like style. Like you're saying, it's more of a soiree. It's more of a like put your best foot forward kind of space. It was a wine bar for fuck's sake.
But I mean, like it was also just not like a bunch of 20-year-olds.
Yeah.
Okay, so wait, was it that made you feel that way, or was it that you were for the first time in a space that if anything was going to happen where you were going to have an interaction that
Lips are dry.
it's okay, drink some wine, you'll be fine.
I'm done.
Here, you want some wine? We're doing this way. Pouring the wine. Oh
Wait,
my God,
is this a bad idea?
Yeah, this is a terrible idea. Wow.
Cheers.
Anyway, was it that, bringing it back, right? Was it that you were in a space that you were like, this is not introvert friendly? Was it really that, which that may partially be true, or was it that you were for the first time, or one of the first times, in a space that required you to connect with yourself enough to know what you wanted to present to the public and how you wanted to just show up and that's uncomfortable because you are in the process of figuring out who you really are right now, and so that felt very vulnerable. It could be both.
It could be both. I don't know. I feel like it felt like a safe space. I will say it felt like a safe space. What it didn't feel like was a space where I belonged. I'll be honest.
Wow, tell me.
I'll be honest.
Why?
I know it was like, I just felt like an outsider. I don't know.
I think that makes sense.
So it's like, I guess it's the first event that I've gone to like that. Not only was like the age group older, but also like, I don't know. I would have preferred if I had my dream queer event.
Tell me.
Right?
Tell me.
We pull up, look good, little skin showing, little skinty, right? It's like an R&B party, right? Music's blasting. Everyone's like, oh my God, I love this song. Kind of swaying, kind of talking. There's liquor. There's vibes. Maybe a little smoking. It's just like chill, but like it's a nice mixture. didn't feel that way.
You know what's so funny? Minus the smoking, because we were in a building.
Right.
But
Yeah, people
minus.
smoke in buildings.
Okay, no, but like we were in a hotel.
Should they? No.
We were in a hotel, like a.
Oh yeah, true.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
you're right.
so minus the smoking, I feel like it had all those out. Like for me, that was the vibe that was there. The only difference, aside from the smoking, that the crowd was 30 plus, generally speaking. And I think you're used to being in spaces that are mid 20s.
That's valid. That's valid.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Where's a little more messiness, a little more like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, I spilled that on you.
Okay, whoa.
Yeah.
It's not like that.
Yeah, it is. Get it.
I feel like maybe it was a big jump from where I've previously been. Maybe I don't know. It's not like I'm saying all this not to say that I didn't enjoy it, because I thoroughly enjoyed that event. Like,
you can enjoy it and still have it be uncomfortable. I get you.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, it was quite a, not a culture shock. I struggled to figure out how I could enjoy myself if there wasn't a little bit of chaos and messiness. That's it. Like, it just didn't hit that, like, I'm outside feeling. Like, I felt like I was inside. Or, like, at a networking event, like I said
That's
before.
wild.
I felt like I wasn't, like,
so if there's not a certain
partying.
level of chaos or messiness, then you're networking.
It felt business.
So there's
and then, as a result, it felt business. Until the end where we started dancing, I didn't feel like it was, like, that kind of, like, I don't know. I didn't feel that. I'll be honest. I'm telling like it is. One thing I'm going to say is the truth, okay?
What?
Yeah.
That's wild.
But it's not like it was a bad thing. It's just like that. Maybe, I'm sure there's different kinds of queer events.
100%.
And maybe it was also the fact that this place is like, seems to be like exclusive. There was some like person from the interwebs.
Yeah,
TV.
like more well-known people there.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it was, no, there were, it was not like it wasn't like a show up at a dive bar and we all just vibe in and someone puts on something where there's going to inevitably be someone twerking on a wall. No, for sure not. But once again, I think that says a lot about like the age group that was there. And also that like, it was a wine bar. You know what I mean? Like, but don't get me wrong.
There's so many elements to it, because I feel like they were saying that it's kind of like a lot of people know each other there.
Because they show up.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, this is not a new thing. Like, people go to this regularly.
I can also, like, I've heard oftentimes, and you tell me, that, like, while there's so many people in the city, there's so many, like, the queer circle can feel kind of small.
It can. Eventually, like, if you're someone who goes out all the time, who's in it enough, eventually you start to see all the same faces.
So it felt like I think that's what I'm trying to say. I felt like outside of it. Like,
in that respect of, you felt like we showed up and a bunch of people already knew each other there.
Like there was groups talking off. Like I felt like,
me too then. In that case, me too, but I actually loved that.
Oh God. Why?
Because it was a little uncomfortable, and because it made it like really like showed me for myself, right? Like I showed up and I was like, a lot of people here know each other. I don't know anybody. Well, what group am I going to know? Like, who's going to be someone that pops into our crew? Who's going to be someone that like we start to get, and then we ended up making our new friend who sat with us the whole night and chatted with us. She was like really cool. And we talked the whole night. We had a couple people, 2 girls that sat with us the whole night and chilled. And then on top of that, like getting to like, just like I said, like bump into other people, check in with other, like it wasn't like we made intense friends, a bunch of intense friends, but okay. I think about it like learning. I know it sounds really nerdy, and it is, but hear me out. Okay. Yes. Hear me out. Okay. The first time you learn something, you have no idea what's happening. Everything goes by in a blur. It all feels uncomfortable. And you're just like, you leave the class and you go, I don't know what happened.
Organic chemistry.
Yeah. And you're like, I don't know what happened, and I'm going to fail. I don't even know if I could ever do that. I clearly could never do this because I didn't understand anything. Right. You go back to the next class a week later, and you review the same thing that you did the first class before, like adding one new thing in there, right? And for some reason, when you go over the review of what you did the previous class, even though you didn't understand any of it the first time, now your brain is not zooming as fast because you've heard this once before. So now you're having a little more time to process it. You're having a little more time to be like, maybe this is what that means. Oh, maybe I have to approach it this way. Oh, maybe I need to look at things from a different angle. And so your brain, when it feels less panicky, actually retains the information and is actually able to experience the lesson more. So when I think about spaces like this where you go in and you're like, oh my God, everyone here knows each other and I don't know anybody. What am I going to do? Everything feels like it's a blur and it's scary and you don't know anyone. You're like, well, I'm alone. But that kind of makes me excited because then I'm like, okay, so the purpose of tonight is not to actually really become an expert on anything. The purpose tonight is just experience, look at people's faces, get to know people's energies, bump into people by accident, say a quick, oh, I'm so sorry, have a good one. And then like keep going because you never know when you show up to the next event. You'll be like, oh, I've seen these faces before. Now I feel more comfortable because I've been here once before. Maybe I can actually, I remember this person over there. Wow, that person in the beret. I remember they showed up last time and they were wearing something really cool too. And now they bleached their eyebrows. Oh, I got to go say something now. Because you recognize them. Your brain's working a little bit less in panic mode and you can be more cool. So that's why I get excited is because I know that first time I'm there somewhere new, learning something new, I'm not going to retain anything. But I am, without even trying, my brain will be absorbing what's around me. And so then the next time I go, I know it's going to be great. It's going to be fire. You know? So that connects back to game for me.
Okay.
Because when we're talking about game, especially when it comes to going into public spaces, game online or like doing online dating is a little bit different. But especially in public spaces, when you're going out and you go to events like this or you go to a bar and things like that, people always show up once and they're like, oh my God, everyone's here and I don't know anyone and how would I even approach someone? What does this look like, right? Especially in sapphic spaces, right? I'm talking about like specifically in sapphic spaces. Hetero spaces are a whole different animal just made of pheromones and grabbing claws.
Oh my God, there is more nuance to straight spaces. You were giving them no credit.
I can't believe that you're trying to give these men credit. But anyway, wait, we'll talk about that in a minute. I can't hear credit for men at 11.
I didn't say for men. 11. I said for
11.
straight spaces. There are women in those spaces as well.
I'm not talking about the women. I'm really never talking about the women. I'm talking about the men. Those spaces are crazy. And it's 11 p.m. and I will hear
none of that.
None of that.
I will hear none of that shit.
Of that. But what I will say is that, so game and sapphic spaces, like when you go into this place where you're seeing all of these women and AFAB folks and you're like, oh my God, what do I do? How do I speak? How move my hands? What to do? Too much eye contact? Not enough. How do I stand? What do I drink? Is what I'm drinking too lame? What, you know what I mean? Like you're just in your head the whole time. And if you don't try and fight that and you just kind of let it be where you take a breath and you're like, I'm uncomfortable. Okay. And then you just, like, that's what I meant when I said you just let your weird out there. And you just exist as someone you're like, I'm a little uncomfy. Like, you'd be surprised how many people are like, whoa, me too. I'm so glad that, like, I'm not alone in this. But if you just are honest about that, people respond. People want to relate because they feel that way too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it makes sense. It just sounds like you were in heaven and I was in hell.
Hell is wild.
I was in purgatory.
That's wild because you were smiling and laughing the whole time.
Okay, in terms of like, you're saying that you have to put yourself out there. Point blank, period.
Oh, I see. Oh, I see. Okay, so for you,
end of statement.
Got it. Okay, great.
And that seems like I'm just used to people being drawn towards me and like being asked to come out of my shell at that point. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
But it didn't feel like that was going to happen at all. I realized I had to switch up and like I felt like I was performing at some point.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Because I always feel like, okay, whenever I'm in straight spaces, I feel like I'm being approached. Actually, I don't get approached a lot in straight spaces. And I've been told it's because I look mean.
It's because you give boss bitch energy.
Maybe. I don't know. I've been told it's because I look mean. I'm
telling you right now, energy.
I'll take either one and both, actually.
Oh, you're fine with it?
I'll take a heaping spoon of both. But my point is that, like, when I do get approached, it's always by the same guy. It's always by some dude who thinks he is God incarnate. Mm-hmm. It's by some guy who's like, yeah, guys, don't worry, I got this one. Who walks up and he'll say something that's ignorant enough that he knows is probably going to ruffle my feathers. And he's looking for a response. He's looking for some kind of like fake shock or awe or like playfulness. Mm-hmm. And then I say something actually mean. And they don't like that. But like what I've noticed is that when they come up, the goal is they're coming up to me not because they noticed anything about me that has to do with uniqueness or interest. Mm-hmm. They are coming up to me because they noticed that they're physically attracted to me. Mm-hmm. And they would like to bone. That's it. And it's very two-dimensional. Whereas in sapphic spaces and with women, I've noticed that when I'm approached, and I'm approached more often, is I'm approached by people who want to have a conversation with me about something about my I've had people walk up to me and be like, I just have to tell you, your smile is great. Like, you light up a room. Your energy is just so, you know what I mean? Like, people will say something like that. Have you ever had someone be like, wow, your energy is just brilliant. It's radiating off of you. And they really just want to have a conversation with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I love that. But they're not using it in a skeevy way to be like, wow, wish you could rub a little of that energy off on me.
Okay.
So I can't stand it. So that's what I'm saying. It's like, excuse me. It feels like there's a lot more genuine intrigue in conversation that happens versus just being pretty overt about the fact where it's like, yeah, you sexy, and I'm going to use conversation as a guise.
Is it a guise, or like, do you feel like sexual attraction is like less viable, less like of import than like what you're saying, like a mental connection?
Well, you bring up a really good point. Wait, hold on, because I didn't wait. So, okay. So then thought too, because I guess what I'm hearing is, or what it makes me think of is, okay, what's the goal then? Because if your goal is like, I'm just here to bang, like I'm just here to find someone sexy to go home with, and that's it, then go to a club. Yeah, absolutely. Like, sure, fine, at a club. If that's your vibe, you will always be able to find someone that matches that vibe. Because there's, no matter what space you're in, you'll always be able to find someone who's like, you're sexy, and you're like, you're sexy, and they're like, great, let's go be sexy together, mine. You know what I mean? Like, that's it. You'll be able to find someone that's great. But if that's not your goal, which is not plenty of people's goal, plenty of people are there to like have feelings. You know what I mean? Like, have some deeper level of connection. It could lead to sex, and sex is great, so it might. But that's not necessarily like the only reason it's actually probably definitely not the only reason they're there, and they're looking for connection, which is like emotional and mental. So that's what they're leading with. And it shows also, I think, in my opinion, if that's your goal, I think that's a deeper level of connection, than just purely physical. Physical can be very deep, but when it's what you lead with and that's all you're after, if that's your goal, cool. There's no shame in that game, but I'm not going to say that that's... You've even said that. There's a lot you can do physically that is not intimate.
No, yeah, it's not always intimate.
That's what I think. If your goal is intimacy, then yeah, you're not going to lead with just pure physicality all the time. Can it happen? Has it happened where two people are like, we stumbled home drunk and now 6 months later we're in love? Yeah, absolutely. But I'm saying, generally speaking, that's why you see it like a lot of sapphic environments. People are looking for connection. They're looking for emotional, mental connection that they would probably love to lead to physical connection for plenty of people. It's not going to be like what they run up on you with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel like there was like a lack of, okay, I think that's great. I do want connection. That's wonderful, okay? Connect with whomever, right? But my thing is,
I think that's great.
My thing is, if I'm gonna flirt with someone, I want to feel desired, and I don't feel that from just talking like we're friends.
Oh, no, 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 no. Do not mistake me. Do not mistake me, please, my dear.
Have I? Have
I believe so. Because when when I'm talking about like mental and emotional connection, there's still very, very much banter involved. Like banter that is flirtatious, that is definitely like coded. And
But that's the thing. Why do I have to sit there and decipher your shit? Why can't you just directly say,
what would you like them to directly say? Give me, okay,
I
give
saw you
me,
from across the room?
is this a Danielle Steele novel? What is this?
I've literally had that said to me.
Horrifying.
How is that horrifying? It got the job done.
Oh, okay.
As in,
Did
they
it?
got my attention.
Oh, no.
Okay. All right. Look, I like a little, like, I can't, because you were telling me, right? No, you were telling me somebody was flirting with me at some point. Didn't you say that?
Yes.
I didn't pick up on it. How the hell is that effective if I can't see that you're trying to flirt with me?
Okay. Have you ever heard of the very, very common queer woman's intro into flirting in public? Not at like obviously like a lesbian or sapphic event, but I'm saying like in public. The very common queer woman's intro to that, like how you
Like
would
the eyes and.
no,
Oh.
like if someone were to look at you, okay, and say a simple phrase like, "Oh, I love your nails," right?
Mm-hmm.
That could be easily just a friendly thing,
Mm-hmm.
or it could easily be a flirty thing.
What the hell?
Okay, ready? Look, we're gonna do it, okay? We're gonna do it, ready? Okay? I'm gonna give you 2 examples.
Okay. Okay.
All right?
All right.
And you tell me which one's which.
Okay.
Okay?
I'll try.
We're walking, we're chilling in a cafe, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Ready? And we're both just minding our business. Oh my God, I love your nails. Those are so cute. Where did you get those done?
Okay.
Versus,
Mm-hmm.
okay, let's take one. Versus, oh my God, I love your nails. Where'd you get those done?
Nope, no difference. Wait, were you trying to flirt in the first one?
All sapphics to the front. If you could hear a difference, you let me know. Watch. Ready? We'll do it to the camera. For anyone watching. Ready? Oh my God, I love your nails. Where did you get those done? Okay. Take 2. Ready? Oh my God, I love your nails. Where'd you get those done?
Is that the flirty one?
I actually fear that they may be helpless.
Mayhaps.
And hopeless. Like I
feel like there's too many rules for a place that claims to not have any.
It's not a rule.
rules.
No, it's not a rule. No. See, you're interpreting it as a rule. It's not a rule.
But it feels like there were so many rules I just didn't know were going on in that.
Who said there's rules? The rules are be yourself. That's the rules. And I think that's what's scary for you. Because it's new.
Could be. But I also feel like I would love to explore different types of queer spaces.
100%.
Because this was a wine bar.
Yeah.
We've gone to the clubs, the bars, rather.
In New York, the bars are clubs. The clubs are bars.
Right.
That's it.
We've gone to those. Maybe there's like a baby. I don't know why I said baby instead of maybe. Maybe there's maybe there's just a type of event that I would thrive at better. Or be able to see.
Maybe you need a younger crowd. Maybe you need a younger crowd. Maybe you need someone who's just going to like come up to you more like a dude would in a straight bar. You're going to get a bunch of what are called hey mamas.
Okay. You've mentioned this before.
Yeah.
Please tell the people.
The people know what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. It's just me?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay.
But just in case there's anyone out there who relates to Nye and doesn't know what a hey mama is. So hey mamas are usually very short kings that are usually mask sapphics, and they have the ego the size of the height of the man that they're trying to, replicate. And they saunter up to you. And they're the ones that'll be like, hey, baby, I saw you from across the room. And they're called hey mamas because they will come out and they'll be like, hey, mama, I saw you from across the room. And they'll look at you and they'll say, damn, you're gorgeous. Let me buy you a drink. And you know what? They already got their little backpack ready with them.
With the strap.
Yep, they already got it with them. It's in the car or it's at the coat check. They're ready. And eventually, the minute that they see that you're into it, they're like, listen, I really want to get to know you. Why don't we go somewhere a little more?
Oh, no.
Why do you come
Error, leaves room. No.
No, because that's what you want.
It's not, though. There's a happy medium.
No winning.
I don't know. There's a happy medium. I feel like I just want to find that. Because I do get tired of the straight spaces and that happening, but I didn't love the none of that happening scene either. I don't know.
Interesting. I will be so curious to go on more adventures with you and to see what spaces really call to you.
But I want to say that I did have fun. It's not like it wasn't fun. It was just, I was sent there, okay, by you with a task. The task was to see if I could.
To see if you could flirt. No, the task was to see. No, actually, literally, the task was to see if you could tell me what the differences are between game here and game at the straight club or straight events.
I think I kind of did.
Kind of, yeah. Yeah. So you're saying that generally speaking, you don't even have to have game. Your game is just showing up being stunning. That's it. That's okay. So that's what you're calling game.
That's how I speak. Some people speak with words. I speak with fits and dances.
So then do you measure, so how do you measure someone else's game? Who do you say, okay, who do you say has the most game and why? Like what, either name a type of person, give me the example, or someone that's famous that is well known for their type of game.
My baby Kaylani.
Okay, explain the type of game you think Kaylani has and why.
Because it's not like overt. Like, okay, Kaylani would come up to me and be like, I love your nails, right? And say something back. Say something like, okay, I love your nails. What color is that?
Wait, am I flirting back with
Yeah,
you?
you're
Oh, I'm
flirting
flirting. Okay, do it again. Ready?
Okay, I love your nails. What color is that?
Wait, this one? This is actually, my nail tech just got this. It's exclusive. It's a nude that my nail tech actually just made.
Okay, no, I actually lost it. Sorry. I actually realized I'm not an actress and you are, so you threw me off. Sorry,
because I was flirting with you?
Yeah, I was like, wait, hold on.
You told me to flirt with you. It's not hard. But do you see what I'm saying? It's
Okay.
not hard.
Yes, it is. But I feel like you come by it naturally, but no, it's hard.
I do love to flirt.
But I'm thinking like they would say something witty and like sarcastic maybe and like something to let me know that they're like there's a little flirt to it. There's a little oomph to it. It's not just like a conversation. It's like there's like a little push.
Yes, that's called banter. It's called cat and mouse. That's what I love. I love that.
None of the conversations felt like that. Even I don't know who you thought I was flirting with or was flirting with me.
No, you weren't flirting at all. Very clearly. Like I saw that happening. I was like, oh, wow, nice shutting this down so fast. Oh, because the girl came up to you and was like, oh my God, I just wanted to let you know, I noticed you way earlier in the night. Your eyebrows are, I wanted to tell you, like, your eyebrows are stunning. And immediately you were like, oh my God, thanks. So nice. And then that was it. And then you were like, okay, cool, I gotta go, bye. Gotta go see my friend.
Because what am I supposed to do?
You literally could have looked at her easily and been like, oh my God, you noticed me? You? I'm sorry. All of you? I am
That's
so
not
flattered.
authentic to me, though. That's not authentic to me.
Obviously, you're going to say it in your own way, but I'm saying, like, do you see what I mean here? You could easily have turned it. You said, what am I going to say to that? You could easily turn it. You could flatter her back. Because the point I'm making is, like, that might be how I flatter someone back. Being like, oh my God, wait, but I'm flattered.
But you know what it would have gotten me? If someone grabbed my arm or something like that. Not grabbed my arm.
Okay.
Not grabbed my arm.
Hold up. So,
but if there was some point of contact, so I know it's not just, like, you just sound like you're complimenting me. Like, I get compliments all day, okay? All day, every day. All day. No, please stop.
You go off. You say it. You want more wine?
No.
Okay, so my point is that, like, so wait, you're telling me.
Yes.
Maybe that's why you're weird about touch, because the only time that you'll be willing to accept touch is if it's sexual.
Or not even sexual, but, like, you're making, like, it doesn't have to be sexual.
The
but
intent of it is sexual.
Like, to be, like, you're showing that I'm desired in some way, shape, or form.
The intent of it is romantic or sexual.
Romantic or sexual, yeah.
That's wild. Touch can be so many things.
Okay.
I just want you to know right now.
No, don't touch me.
I just want you to know right now.
No, don't touch me.
Ready?
No. Okay, your
Ready?
nail. I'll touch your
Boom.
nail.
Wow. Look at that.
Platonic.
When we hug, do you feel romantic or sexual?
No.
Oh. Hot off the press. It's platonic.
Yes, but I feel like saying something like in tandem with that. Like that was like if I was like, "Oh my God, I love your nails." Like that's different than me
Fair.
being like, "I love your nails."
But that's very
or like
obvious.
even like this, "I love your nail." Like that's different.
Yeah, but that's very obvious. Yeah. And sometimes people like for me, okay, for example, for me, I am a very touchy person. We know this. Like I'm someone that if I'm gonna flirt with someone, I'd be like, "Oh my God, stop! That's so interesting." You know what I mean? Like I'm going to touch you and like be very like involved in my hand, like my hands when I speak and when I am being engaged with you. I'm going to make eye contact with you. I'm probably going to like do a little touch, do a little touch. But not everyone is that comfortable. Not everyone is that, to be honest, confident to do it.
I need confidence.
Big mood. I get that. But like, yeah, and that's fair. And that's fair. But my point is that there's many ways to have game.
Many ways.
And that.
But my type of a game was not there. Or someone trying to put game. I don't put out game. I need someone to put game on me. Pause.
That is so problematic. That is so problematic. I'm not going to do any work. I just want everyone else to do all the work for me.
Yeah, it's giving Pillow Princess. I won't lie. I went through that phase for a while. I'm not gonna lie. It was great.
Phase?
Stage process.
You did past tense?
Mayhaps. It's hard with men. I told you that. Okay.
Yeah, I don't. That's not my area of expertise. Okay. Last question then.
Okay.
All right.
We've
Pertaining
gone over.
to game. It's fine. Last question. I guess you just said you don't have game, but has your game ever backfired was the question.
Yeah, all the time. All the fucking time.
You
because
mean when people want you to do work?
the thing is, right? I know there's a problem with the way I attract as such, okay? Because what I like to do, I don't like to be rejected, first of all. I don't want nobody saying no, okay? Everybody's got to say yes.
Nobody likes that.
So basically, I cast a wide and general net. And sometimes we catch some scraggly bitches in that net.
You love scraggly bitches, though. You said that.
I like medium ugly. I don't like scraggly. Medium ugly is different than scraggly. Period. It's different, okay? Medium ugly means our babies will come out kind of cute. You know what I'm saying?
You're having babies with these men?
Okay, maybe.
Babies!
Maybe. You never know. All I'm saying is scraggly men, the kind like the bottom of the barrel. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
They come out the woodworks too. And I gotta like push them away to wait for the better options. It backfires all the fucking time. I remember there was this one short man.
First of all, short is not a bad thing.
No, but listen
I
to
love
this.
a short king who is AFAB. I love a short stud.
I'm talking AMAB. This guy was AMAB.
No, I mean short kings that are AMAB are also can be cool.
Yeah, no, they're perfectly fine.
I know several short kings that are like really great dudes, and like they deserve love. And
of course,
I don't say that often.
Aww.
Eugene, I'm looking at you.
Okay, yeah, I knew you were talking to your friends. I was like, she's talking to someone.
And Meshach. Anyway, go ahead.
Basically, okay, he was staying in a hotel across from the bar. And he lived in, this was in Richmond, Virginia. Oh. He lived in Richmond, Virginia, but got a hotel room across from this bar where it was known that young college people went to.
No, already terrible.
Terrible. Now, this is not, I didn't know this information coming off the bat. I was drunk, whatever. So I'm dancing around looking all cute or whatever, because that's how I attract. All the good ones is gone, okay? All the good ones are gone. So he's there. And what does he do? He comes up to me. He's short, and I'm saying he's short, like, as in I was wearing 6-inch heels. So I'm taller. I'm about 6 foot at that point. I'm 5'4", 5'10". You get the point. I'm close to 6
I just wanted to do the math. That's all. I didn't say anything. Go on.
And he like, I don't know. He comes up to me and literally is staring at nothing but my boobs.
Of course.
Like, and I was like, okay, you're short. That's fine. Like,
gave him so much grace already. Bye.
I was like, this is okay. It is what it is. But then, like, how do I say this? He was a creep. There's nothing else to say, but he was a creep.
Yeah.
As in, like, he was literally trying to lure me back to his hotel room. He's like, don't worry. Like, telling my friends, oh, don't worry. She'll be okay. Like, I know. Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
No.
Where was I going with the story? That's the kind of people who can get attracted to you when you're just throwing it out there like that, the way that I do. Sometimes. In the past. A lot of times.
Would you say possibly?
Yes.
That this wide net theory, this wide net practice could be, how do you say, a bit more generic in its approach.
Yeah, I'm not doing anything special.
That's what I'm saying.
Because when I act...
You're not doing anything.
Ooh, I was about to say something.
What?
When I act like myself, I don't get as many options.
Say that louder.
No, I'm kidding. I feel like when I act like myself, I don't get as many options. And I don't like that. I don't like that. Like, I want more. Like, I want not more.
So you would rather quantity over quality?
Because it makes me feel more desirable, yeah. And then it's like a validation thing. Yeah. Ooh, Lord. What is this, therapy?
This is therapy. Welcome.
Oh, Lord.
It's okay. It's the effect I have on people.
Get off me.
Oh, God. Wait, do you remember? Okay. Try again. Beep. All right, here we go. Okay, so I said you would rather quantity than quality. Actually, you know what? No, further into this is therapy, so I'm not going there. But what I am going to say is that I think that explains a lot as to why entering into queer spaces is going to feel uncomfortable for you, because the wide net effect is not...
It's not there.
It's not there because people come into queer spaces
looking for something.
No, they come into queer spaces to just be their fucking selves. And the beauty of that, you come into a queer space to actually love your fucking self, to enjoy yourself. And then the beauty of it, the amazing side effect of that, is that you get proof that being yourself is actually allows you to feel the most desirable that you've ever been, that you've ever felt in your life. But it's also the scariest thing that you can do, because it's the leap you have to take with the fear of it going the other way and being rejected, or feeling like you've proven to yourself that you're not desirable. It doesn't turn out that way. It works out. I hate that when you take the leap, when you actually do it.
Yeah.
Fun fact, when you actually do it. I'm not saying it's easy.
Looks to camera. When you do it.
I'm not saying it's easy. And I'm not saying it's immediate. It takes time. It takes practice. But it does get more comfortable. It gets less uncomfortable the more and more that you do it. And the more and more you're willing to understand the value of quality over quantity.
Yeah. Sounds like a journey.
It sure is.
So maybe me going to like one soiree queer event wasn't enough for me to get to that point. Maybe this was not the end all be all. Maybe I need more experience.
Maybe we need to go out more. Let's go party more. That sounds fun.
Okay.
If it's an excuse to go
if
out
I
and
have
party
to,
more.
I will, I guess.
Darn. I think that's the point. I think we found it.
We
I
did.
think that the point
we went
is...
on some places. Yeah.
But anyway, point is, the point is that if you show up and you value quality and just like giving yourself the chance to love yourself, or that sounds so gay, giving yourself the chance to actually just show up and be scared and be raw and vulnerable, good shit happens. And then you discover you have game. I found it. And then you discover you have game, because you can't have game as a shell of a person. A mask, what's that called? Like a costume of a person can never have game. They can only read a script that someone else has handed them. You can't discover that you even have game until you sit in your own skin and you let yourself just be yourself. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, personally, no, but like, yes, it makes sense.
Yeah, okay, great. That's what I'm at. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. So that's the point.
That is the point.
I'm so excited to see what game you develop. Ooh la la.
It's going to be great.
I think you're going to be unstoppable. I really do. Because I already, if you show up with half of the charisma that you show up in my living room with, it's over.
Hey.
It's over. It's over for these people. I'm not even kidding you. There is no competition. Actually, when you have game, there is never competition.
Okay.
But that's all I have to say.
Yeah.
My notebook is empty. Thank you so much for being patient with us. Thank you for tuning in. My God, my wine glass is now empty. We'll see you next time. And hopefully, it'll be on time. Thanks, guys.
That's tea.